guys? Gear Issue 33. Now guys, I decided to go ahead and make this video now. Of course, I had two videos slated for tomorrow that would have gone on John Claymore. Don't worry, the link will be left in the description box of this video here. I want to go ahead and kind of review a little bit, just give some final thoughts on the Civil War reaction I did from Jon Mark. Now guys, to kind of give you an idea about that video has actually been out for a while, but the man himself who made the video, his YouTube channel no longer exists. So therefore, that particular video is, how do I say, it is, it's on another YouTube channel. Now, that's probably the reason why the video is not going to travel up the algorithm anytime soon. I understand when you're a YouTuber, this is going to happen. Also, something else too. YouTube's guidelines have changed to where now you can't do certain things in certain videos as far as actual actions in front of the camera. Like, for example, right now I'm smoking a cigarette. So don't be surprised that a year or so from now when we get up for monetization if this video suddenly vanishes. It does not mean, however, though, that those videos are going to be coming off my channel. Those videos are going to stay. I want people to go back and look at it for future reference. But I may update it and actually do it again as far as with my own scenario, my own swing. I do plan on actually making a project about this. But I got to give you guys my final thoughts on just a few things. And by the way, I've got the black horn rims here, so I'm going to need to go ahead and put them on just for a second. I know that it's going to be a little bit distracting with the circles across the eyes, but I'm going to try to just kind of talk and not try to blind you guys too much. But I kind of need it because, I'm not going to lie to you, I'm a little bit insecure about my actual vision. Now, guys, here's the thing that you have to understand. Situations like what we were talking about, those type of things would more than likely occur in the cities or start in the cities. That's always been my strong feeling. And the reason why is because everything in this country right now, everything in the world at this moment in time is boiling down to politics, good old-fashioned politics. And the politics, of course, are getting much, much worse. Everything is now political. Now, guys, when I originally ventured into YouTube, my thing was sports, and of course it got political, and that was on the Claymore channel. By the way, I will probably do sports content at a later date on separate channels. If you're into that stuff, I'll leave a link for you when I get ready. Of course, it'll be covering my two main teams, the Packers, who quite frankly suck, and the Braves, of course, who lost in the playoffs earlier this year. Just dissections, just give you my overall sports knowledge, because when you do YouTube, you're primarily a generalist. It's usually somebody who just knows a little bit about everything. That's basically what a generalist is. Now, the thing you have to understand about this situation, and by the way, YouTube, no advocation for anything like this right here. I just talked about a video that I just got through, a little video series that I did. National divorce, I talked about it in another video. I talked about the fact that it would never occur. It was completely impossible. It just would never happen. Do I think something like this right here would actually occur as far as the CW phrase? I actually think what would happen is something called, it'd be more of a revolt, more of a revolution. Let me explain my point. Now, guys, he based that right there on the basis of the right having the power to actually cause force. However, the problem is this right here. A lot of people, a lot of analysts always never take into account. One of these guys is Stephen Marsh, a guy out of Canada who wrote a book on this, in which he got some things true. But at the same time, though, he lives in Canada. He's only been in the United States twice, and he's on the left. He doesn't seem to understand how conservatives are. It goes back to Jonathan Haidt's book, The Righteous Mind. It goes back to that, and he's actually 100% correct. Conservatives and moderates typically tend to understand liberals, but liberals do not understand moderates nor conservatives. They just don't have an actual understanding of us. They don't know exactly how it is we think, and they don't exactly know why it is that we are the way we are. Don't worry, on Claymore, there'll actually be a video explaining this much, much further. So I highly suggest you guys go subscribe and go check out that channel as well, especially for social content, because that's where I break down more of this stuff. I try not to get political on this channel anymore for the very reason it's not a politics channel. But the Democratic Party, that relies on a constituency of mostly single-issue voters. Think about it really quick. The LGBTQ community. Let me just go ahead and throw this out here really quick. Yeah, the L stands for lesbian, G stands for gay, B stands for bi, T stands for trans, and Q, I guess, I don't know what everything else. I'm not going to get to it. All four of those groups are actually, all four within that group are actually divided, but they have to have all four of their votes. They pander, of course, to African Americans and other minorities. The reason why is because they're mostly single-issue votes. Okay, we're voting on the basis of, okay, how much am I going to get to help out? Because that's basically what they do. Now, when the poor, of course, they start warring against one another, which is very, very much a strange inverse, because in a country like, say, Mexico, And it was Razorfist who made a video on this a while back saying that Mexico, the real reason why Mexico allows so much immigration to the United States is because what they're doing is they're getting rid of their potential future uprising force. You see, the people of Mexico got pissed off if they suddenly got together. If they wanted to, they could actually cause a problem in that country, even without guns or anything. Cartel runs everything. I'm just using that as an example. In the United States, the vast majority of the warring factions are already in cities. This is one of the reasons why I keep saying it would be blue on blue, not red on blue. Okay, it's one of the reasons why I say that. The most part of the analysis that he gave, like I said, was based upon the right actually having the force to go through that. I don't believe that would ever happen. Normally, most conservatives are not advocating for that to occur, and they're not advocating for an overthrow of the system. But I can give you a scenario, which, by the way, is the main scenario that I'm looking at. And by the way, I'm going to be doing videos on this on Claymore, so make sure you guys subscribe to Claymore. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description box, and I'll leave a link in the comment section. One of the things that I'm going to be discussing is a convention of states. Now, me personally, I am in favor of a convention of states. Basically, what a convention of states is, it's in our Constitution, that if two-thirds of the overall country's overall state legislations decide to get together, they can actually re-amend or add amendments to or even strengthen the Constitution itself. Right now, at this moment in time, most liberals are not in favor of doing that. They would probably raise 15 counts. Hell, this always goes back to one thing, accountability. The main reason why we are in this situation with the radical left is because they are the type of people who do not like to hold themselves accountable, nor do they like it when they are held to accountable. Take, for example, Elon Musk suspending Ethan Klein, Elon Musk suspending Kathy Griffin, a lot of other liberals off of Twitter because they impersonated him. When they get fired, any point in time they get fired or anything, they completely lose their shit. They don't know how to just move the hell on with it like most normal people, most conservatives. It's kind of akin to something that Jesse Waters said one night on Fox. So the general consensus is that conservatives, something bad happens, they go home, they go to the bar, they take a shot of liquor, they just go right back on to work. Liberals can't do that. They have to have an actual full-on struggle session and all that crap. It's just who the hell they are. I've been around these people. I know them. And not that I got anything against them. I know a lot of liberals who've actually left being a liberal and become much more moderate, even conservative over time. But this is how these people are. This is just what they do. I mean, so in my personal opinion, what I think how it would happen is that it would start in the actual cities itself. Don't worry, the project will be coming out probably next year. It takes a while to work on. It's probably going to be something closer in the vein of Forward Observer, who had a very, very detailed one on this. But he focused a lot more on the economics. I don't believe in focusing deep all the way through the economics. I like to focus on the situation at hand, and I may look a little bit at how he got here. But the main disagreement that I did have, and I know it's taken me a while to get here, was the actual troops portion, the actual military portion. I don't think the military would defect. I think what would probably happen is that the military would probably mutiny. That's not an actual defection. A defection is when you have guys openly deserting. Mutiny is more along the lines when an entire group says we're not going to go through with this. The next thing you know, the command is fighting with the men itself. That right there is an actual mutiny, would actually delay things. In the case of the police, I don't think that the cops would actually, I do agree with it being a tie, but I think it's a tie at a different point of view. I don't think they're going to side with anybody. I think what they're probably going to do is they're probably going to sit back or they're just going to do their jobs. They're going to take out whoever the hell's in front of them. It's possible that they could side with some of these very liberal cities. But those are the only real main two critiques that I have. I want to kind of give you guys a bit of a preview on this, and I'm going to kind of preface something, kind of touch on something before I end this video that I mentioned in the video that I made earlier towards the end, which I advise you guys watch because it's about another organization arming itself. And of course, that right there is the fact that we're going to stick back to the military scenarios, and we're probably going to start doing military movie reviews here in the near future. It is a military-driven channel. I may at some point in time eventually separate the actual content. I'm not sure amongst two different channels, but of course, when you start creating more and more channels, you eventually get more and more bogged down. I can handle the Claymore channel, which by the way is going to be going to projects. I can handle this channel right here, which is mostly now projects. But the thing is, this right here, at some point in time, I'm probably going to do something that's a little bit more every day to kind of put a halt on things, kind of help me stabilize my content. Now, guys, with that being said, and yeah, you just heard a vehicle in the background. With that being said, make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys subscribe. Make sure you guys share the video. Sign off in the comment section. Give me you guys thoughts, and I'll see you guys later.